Do you want to live long and healthy? Have you ever wondered why your health checkup numbers aren't improving, even though you run every day? Do you want to know the scientific truth that cardio alone isn't enough? The answer is simple. Do resistance training 2 to 3 times a week. Combine it with cardiovascular exercise. Why does that work? This slide explains everything. The higher your muscle mass and strength, the lower your risk of death. This isn't the finding of a single study. It's a fact that multiple meta-analyses published in the BMJ and JAMA Network Open have demonstrated time and again. Let me add an important clarification here. When predicting longevity, cardiorespiratory fitness, your VO2 max, is also critically important. So the accurate conclusion is not that cardio is useless. Protect your muscle with resistance training and build cardiorespiratory fitness with aerobic exercise. Both together are the scientifically optimal solution. And the latest research reveals an even more critical perspective. We're now in an era where not just the quantity but the quality of muscle is what matters. When fat accumulates within muscle tissue, function declines, even if total muscle mass appears sufficient. Muscle that truly makes a difference is muscle that excels in both quantity and quality. This is a fact built on more than 20 years of research in exercise physiology and gerontology. It's not a hypothesis. It's a data-driven, well-established mechanism. And it's achievable. Squats, push-ups, and rows, twice a week. Start today, and the trajectory of your health will change. Today, let me show you the science behind it. You may think of muscle as simply the parts that make you move. But science has revealed a completely different truth. Skeletal muscle is an organ. Just like the heart and liver, it's a massive endocrine organ that secretes bioactive substances. In the 2000s, Pedersen and colleagues scientifically established this concept through their research. Every time a muscle contracts, factors called myokines are released into the bloodstream. These reach every part of the body, protecting the brain, strengthening the heart, and stabilizing blood sugar. Then, in 2023, an even more noteworthy discovery was made. Research suggested that exercise-induced, muscle-derived IL-6 may promote GLP-1 secretion from the intestinal tract. GLP-1 is a hormone that suppresses appetite and stabilizes blood sugar. There's a real possibility that resistance training can naturally activate this mechanism without relying on medication. Cardio alone makes it difficult to maximize this secretory function of muscle. That's because myokine output depends on both the quantity and quality of your muscle. The greater and higher quality your muscle mass, the more effectively myokines are secreted. Here's why your metabolism isn't improving despite running every day. You've been trying to put the factory to work without ever building the factory itself. Everyone knows that aerobic exercise burns calories. But that calorie burn happens primarily during the exercise itself. Muscle is different. 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Even while you sleep, it keeps contributing to your metabolism. To be precise about this, the organs that contribute most to resting metabolic rate are high metabolism tissues like the brain, liver, heart, and kidneys. But because skeletal muscle has the greatest volume of any tissue in the body, its total contribution is impossible to ignore. Muscle burns roughly 6 calories per pound at rest. It also increases your caloric burn efficiency during activity. This dual effect is what makes muscle your metabolic engine. And here's where quality matters just as much as quantity. When fat accumulates within muscle tissue, metabolic function declines. Resistance training doesn't just increase muscle mass. It reduces intramuscular fat and elevates the performance of your engine itself. What happens when you commit to resistance training isn't simply that you gain more muscle. Your entire body's energy system is rebuilt to operate more efficiently. Here's a scientific warning you need to hear. Your muscle is being lost right now, at this very moment. Strength begins to decline in your 30s, and after 50, muscle mass accelerates its loss at roughly 1% per year. This is called sarcopenia, age-related muscle loss. There's no pain. There are no noticeable symptoms, but it progresses with certainty. There's an important perspective to hold here, though. Modern science places equal emphasis on the decline in muscle strength and physical function, not just the loss of muscle mass. Even with a reasonable amount of muscle mass, if muscle strength has declined, the risk of falling increases. The rate of loss varies significantly based on activity level, nutrition, and the presence of illness. What happens as a result? You lose your ability to maintain balance, and you fall. Falls lead to fractures. Fractures lead to hospitalization. Reduced activity during hospitalization causes muscle strength and walking ability to deteriorate further rapidly. You become trapped in this vicious cycle. But here's what's critical. This progression can be stopped. It can even be reversed. With resistance training just twice a week, cardio does not solve this problem. Training your cardiorespiratory fitness and maintaining muscle mass and strength are two entirely separate challenges. When you eat, the glucose in your blood rises. The question is, where does that glucose go? The answer is muscle. Skeletal muscle is the body's largest reservoir for glucose. It has two mechanisms that absorb and stabilize post-meal blood sugar. The first is uptake. A protein called GLUT4 appears on the surface of muscle cells and rapidly draws in glucose. Resistance training enhances this GLUT4 function and improves insulin sensitivity. The second is storage. The absorbed glucose is stored within muscle as glycogen, becoming a fuel source for your next bout of exercise. The more muscle mass you have, the greater this storage capacity becomes. The less muscle mass you have, the smaller the reservoir. Glucose has nowhere to go and continues circulating in the bloodstream. This is the pathway to chronic high blood sugar and, ultimately, type 2 diabetes. The American Diabetes Association's 2024 guidelines make this recommendation. The optimal approach is the combination of aerobic exercise and resistance training. And when paired with diet and weight management, the effect becomes even more powerful. It's not one or the other. Both complete the system that protects your blood sugar. Your brain and your muscle are far more deeply connected than you might think. In 2010, a randomized controlled trial was published in the Archives of Internal Medicine. It was a study examining the effects of resistance training 1 to 2 times per week in 155 older women. The results showed that the resistance training group demonstrated significant improvements in cognitive measures, specifically executive function and attention. Why? Recall the myokines I introduced earlier. When muscle contracts, muscle-derived factors such as IL-6 influence the brain through the bloodstream. Evidence suggests this may help promote the expression of BDNF, which is involved in protecting the hippocampus. Let me add an important clarification. We're not yet at the stage where we can definitively say resistance training reduces dementia risk by a specific percentage. But the evidence is accumulating that resistance training can improve certain aspects of cognitive function in older adults. When combined with aerobic exercise, this neuroprotective effect may be further enhanced. Imagine you're 50 years old right now. You start resistance training twice a week. Squats, dumbbell rows, push-ups. 30 minutes is enough. 10 or 20 years from now, your cognitive function may be on a fundamentally different trajectory than your peers. Muscle protects not just your body, it protects your brain. So what, specifically, should you do? Let me walk you through 3 simple pillars drawn from scientific guidelines. The first pillar, resistance training 2 to 3 times per week. The American College of Sports Medicine recommends an intensity at which you feel you cannot do one more rep, performing 8 to 12 repetitions for 2 to 3 sets. Squats, push-ups, deadlifts, rows. If you're just starting out, begin by learning proper form with a light load. If you have pain or a pre-existing condition, consult a specialist first. The second pillar, aerobic exercise. The WHO's 2020 guidelines recommend 150 to 300 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week, or 75 to 150 minutes of vigorous intensity activity at a pace faster than walking. Equally important, reducing prolonged sitting throughout the day. The third pillar, protein. For those looking to maintain or build muscle, the guideline target is 0.55 to 0.73 grams per pound of body weight per day. For someone weighing 154 pounds, that's roughly 85 to 112 grams of protein daily. If you have kidney disease, do not apply this target on your own. Consult your physician first. Now imagine you're 40 years old, and you start all three of these today. The first 2 weeks may bring nothing but sore muscles. But at 6 weeks, climbing stairs feels easier. At 3 months, post-meal fatigue fades, and blood sugar begins to stabilize. At 1 year, your health checkup numbers are changing, quietly but unmistakably. This is territory that cardio alone cannot reach. Now let's bring today's key points together. Here's your summary. First, the association between higher muscle mass and strength and lower mortality risk has been demonstrated in multiple large-scale meta-analyses. At the same time, cardiorespiratory fitness is an independent and equally important predictor of longevity. The correct conclusion, therefore, is not cardio or resistance training. Combining both is the scientifically optimal solution. And the latest science emphasizes targeting not just quantity but quality, muscle with minimal intramuscular fat and high functional capacity. Second, the accelerating loss of muscle mass and strength that begins in middle age quietly sets the stage for the vicious cycle of falls, fractures, and immobility. Resistance training improves insulin sensitivity via GLUT4 and stabilizes blood sugar. Muscle-derived myokines also have the potential to protect the brain and contribute to maintaining cognitive function. These are effects that cardio alone cannot readily deliver. Third, resistance training 2 to 3 times per week, 150 to 300 minutes of aerobic exercise per week, and 0.5 to 0.73 grams of protein per pound of body weight daily. Combining these three is the optimal protocol recommended by scientific guidelines. If you have a pre-existing condition, such as kidney disease, consult your physician first. Which of these three will you incorporate first this week? All it takes is adding 1 resistance exercise. Start with 10 squats. Share your strategy in the comments below. Thanks for investing in your health today. On this channel, I break down the science of the human body and health with evidence, not emotion, with research, not trends. From muscle and metabolism to brain, sleep, and nutrition, I deliver the scientific knowledge to optimize every system in your body. Subscribe and turn on notifications. With every new video, your understanding of your own health deepens by one more level. Until next time.